YouTube. Daddy State here on that damn blog. I'm back with what Dave Sunstorm will definitely not call the good stuff. That's right. I'm taking a look at Wacky Squirrel comics. Wacky Squirrel from Dark Horse Comics back in 1988. This is a number 4. And Wacky Squirrel becomes Super Squirrel. Alrighty then, let's bust it open and have a look inside this dismal black and white nightmare. And inside the front cover, we get the regular Wacky Squirrel list of who did what, the art, the lettering, the cover colors. And you notice the cover colors is all it says about colors because they decided not to ink this dismal black and white piece of garbage. No, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't insult it. It actually made me laugh. I found this comic book to be somewhat entertaining, to say the least. And for a black and white comic book, it's probably number 2 or 3 in my all-time black and white comic books I didn't hate list. So let's get going as Wacky Squirrel kicks back with his Play Squirrel magazine. Wow! Somewhere in the galaxy, 2 spaceships travel through time and space. But a accident in time and space, which zoom causes the 2 ships to change places. In full panels brought to you by the Daily Damn Blog. You say Martha Kent and her incredible husband, I forget his name, as they travel the back roads of America as a spaceship crashes in front of them. Oh my God, it's the Superman story. Yeah, Martha and George Kent, they find a squirrel from another galaxy, a squirrel with an S on his chest. I guess that stands for squirrel. I always wondered what that S on the chest stood for. It stood for squirrel. And apparently, if you're not wearing your clothes, you're a naked squirrel. Martha and George, they're like, I can't keep this squirrel. We're taking him to the orphanage. They kick him into the orphanage real quick, but then they feel bad about it, and they decide to snatch him back from the orphanage. I'd have just left him in the orphanage, wouldn't you? Anyway, he decides to embark on his life as a superhero. He says, I am a squirrel. I will be Super Squirrel. Here's the cool part. Remember where them ships popped each other in space? Wah, wah, wah. Maybe be look sad about that. Remember when them ships popped each other in space? Well, on another planet. The planet of Toons. Where Toons are a living thing. Where cartoons are real. Remember that place? A baby crashes and is discovered by 2 wackadoodle toons called Furry Fox and Christopher Squirrel. So they quickly realize that he has the strength of 1,000,000 toons. He must be a toon person. So they hook him up with a really cool special uniform, TUV. And I love this part right here where WXYZ, no matter which panel it's in, Superman's new costume in Toon World now says, and I trip on this, something different every time it shows up. So now, to all the people who constantly complain that I never do superhero stuff, let me point out, even though it's in an alternate universe of Toon World, Superman has finally made an appearance on my channel, as he is compared to the squirrel, Earth them, and explained by Professor whatever the heck this cat thing's supposed to be, what has happened with the mix-up and the fact that, Superman, you're in the wrong book. Check his shirt out. It now says, Eat It, Mike. So that's going to be the funniest thing in the whole thing. As they realize they're in an alternate universe, Wah, wah, watch this face. I can't help it. It is so distracting that every time you turn around, his shirt says something else. Please stand by as I try to figure out how to get Superman back to his correct universe. Meanwhile, in our universe, Wacky Squirrel with his S on his chest goes through a variety of costumes as he pretends to be Clark Squirrel, a mild-mannered reporter squirrel. But whenever there's trouble, whoop, whoop, and away he turns into Super Squirrel with an S on his chest, using giant pillows to save fallen airplanes. Because Super Squirrel does things his way. He did it his way. But making his first appearance in a Daily Damn blog comic book video, we see Superman. We see Superman with his incredible changing shirt. You see what that says? Do not remove under penalty of law, like it's a giant tag. Whoever come up with that should deserve a little credit. 5-cent deposit. Everything changes every time. It just cracks me up so much. Superman cannot figure out why in Toon World, when he reaches in his back pocket, he pulls out an anvil. Or even though he's super strong and can pick up anything, it seems a little out of place. As a rat runs through the town, listen up, everyone. Wacky sworn off jokes and gags. Better get your best shots in before he changes his mind. And who the blue hell knows what that means in full panels, brought to you by the Daily Damn blog. Darn, now I want something to smoke. Because cigarettes can be hazardous to your health. I love the way it changes every time. Well, anyway, Wacky guy who does the pranks and jokes who swore off, that's Superman's archenemy in the cartoon world. A wacky fox that does all kinds of pranks and jokes, and right now he's pulling one on Superhuman, and then he drops the sleep on Superhuman, which will take out most people, but it's Superhuman. It just has no effect on Superman because he's superhuman, you get it. He belongs on the wacky world of Comic Book Planet because he can't be hurt, just like the tunes he's on the planet with. Life don't go so much better for old Lex Luthor as he has to put up with the wacky shenanigans of that Super Squirrel from outer space that he is intent on destroying with his latest invention, the Squirrel Zapper. Should have just got a BB gun. That's what we used to use. Anyway, Secret Squirrel. No, that ain't Secret Squirrel. That's Wacky Squirrel. That's Super Squirrel. And he sneaks up on Lex Luthor and dumps super hair growth tonic on his head. Walk! Lex Luthor runs off in terror. For the first time in years, he has an afro. Oh my God. Wacky Squirrel, back in Clark Squirrel's persona, heads over to the office to sneak around and ask Lois a question or two, but Lois ain't having nothing and slams the door in his face. What, she missing Superman that never existed on this world? So I guess now would be a pretty good time to take a break and try to get a few shout-outs in. I guess I'm about halfway through that dismal nightmare, right? Be sure to check out Dave Sunstorm, Dave and his incredible brother, Steven Sunstorm, here on YouTube. The good stuff, guys. Be sure to check out Pat McCormick at the Golden Rage of TV on YouTube for all your best interviews. The original Wacky Squirrel itself, Thrash Pondo Pons. You know Pons? He saved every one of us. Be sure to check out Thrash Pondo Pons. You can see me and Pons together every other week on his channel and my flock Sarah's channel with our show where we save everyone. Be sure to check out my girl BBB, Brainbender's Banner. You can see me on BBB's channel on a Saturday nights around 9:30 Eastern. Hey, I'm always there. Be sure to check out Corey over at Corey's Comedy Channel. You know, he's always a bucket of laughs. So let me get the rest of the guys in, like Big Guys 45's BK on the air. My flock is everywhere. My flock Sarah, we love her to the Nostalgic Pod Blast. Be sure to check out Chance, Retro Nerd Girl, AAP Homestead, AAP for life. Be sure to check out our friend Eric, the Unapologetic Geek. He wrote this cool book called Paradox. You can see it over there in the corner. Hey, I'm going to read that book real soon, and you should get it, and we'll read it along with me together. The Life and Sad Endings channel, and welcome back, Gypsy Road Eric. It's good you're back, and a special mention to BMR. You know, Bigfoot Michigan Rob with True Cryptid Encounters. You can see them in the other corner over there. Now back to the wacky adventures of that wacky super squirrel. That wacky squirrel. That's right, old wacky squirrel. He's lighting the cigar for the boss. He's choking out Jimmy Olsen. He's putting the hammer, the missile flicky, smucky stuff. He's slapping a giant gorilla around, or is that Bigfoot? I like to think that's Bigfoot, but it really is some kind of grape ape, right? Meanwhile, Superman's hanging out with the Toons. He's having fun adventures, watching the letters on his shirt change. You know, Superman isn't looking too happy. He feels as though he belongs in a different universe. So in full panels brought to you. Mighty Damn Blog! I carry on with the dismal black and white nightmare that is Wacky Squirrel that I do not hate for some reason. You know, I really could talk about no more to how much I freaking hate black and white comic books, but there's been a couple come along that wasn't too bad. I can count them on one hand, but this is one of them. Mainly because the thing on the shirt keeps changing, and suddenly he gets the S. The S on his chest. The S is his secret ability. The S. I hear beeping. What? I hear beeping. What the heck? That was weird. Whoa, YouTube, I'm sorry. I heard weird beeping. I had to go investigate. So, I love the way it changes the panels on the shirt. It rips through fabrics and times. Check it out. He's got Kissel Missile flicks his name spelled on his shirt backwards and stuff. That's so when he reads it, he can get sent back to his own universe, I get. Hey, his little sidekick cat is giving him a hard time with a plunger joke. Check it out. It's a magic plunger. It'll suck through to different universes, so he uses it to suck through the plunger and pull out a pie. Meanwhile, in Wacky World, our world, Wacky Squirrel is running down the bad guys, bloop, 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 cartoon style, as evil villains watch from a window above. Welcome to the cartoon world, Wacky Squirrel. And we'll see if it carries on in comic book number 5. But for now, that's the end of Wacky Squirrel's Wacky Adventures. And then you get the comic shop, where you can order all the other really cool comic books. You know, the Nightmares from Dark Horse, back in 1988. The one that caught my eye most of all was you could order some Godzilla comics and a complete Godzilla portfolio. Wow, $10. I would have ordered that back in 1988 if I had seen it. Would you? Hey, you can check it out now. Write them a letter and ask them for a current price list. Maybe they still have something for sale. And apparently in an earlier issue, they had a Draw Harold's Girlfriend contest. And I don't know which one won the $100,000 they were giving away. Jesus. Harold's Girlfriend isn't looking too good. I guess that's the one that won, and here are a few other honorable mentions. Hermione, the female Marone. And of course, there were many other contest entries that I find. Does that say I love S&M? I find some of these somewhat disturbing. And I'll make sure I make shorts about them and put them up on a few other channels. Oh my God. That's kind of cool. And back in 1988, there were several comic book shops open. And this book apparently wanted to go out of their way to list every one of them you could go to buy copies of, 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 of this comic book. I find it ironic. The only one in South Carolina where I could have got a copy of this comic book is the one on Lawrence Road I went to and got this comic book. Well, that's kind of weird. Alrighty, so I picked up one of the few copies of this comic book in South Carolina. Did you pick up a copy of this comic book? Or, am I the only one? I'm going to send Chess a picture of this one and ask him if he got one of these. I'm thinking he might not. Oh, yeah, look right there, buddy. Couldn't get one in Georgia. Wasn't even available in Georgia. Yeah, I didn't mention it, but Predator comic books are coming soon to Dark Horse. And here's the origins of garbage. That's right, Mr. Monster's coming. Wah, 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 custom built garbage for the comic book collectors. And I actually like the way they finished off the back cover with this Aliens merch. I was a big Aliens fan. I liked Aliens. Did you like Aliens? Let me know in the comments below. And we're going to wrap up the back with some Dark Horse upcoming comics. That's right, you could get the American or the Concrete back in 1988. Well, YouTube, that's my look at Wacky Squirrel Comics #4 from 1988. A Glitch in Time, where Wacky Squirrel becomes Superman in his own wacky squirrel kind of way, and it takes the take off on the first Superman comic book. I thought that was pretty cool. Let me know what you think about this piece of garbage in the comments below. Let me know if you think it's okay for a black and white piece of crap. Let me know if you enjoyed it. For a black and white piece of garbage, I have to say I enjoyed it okay, and I found it amusing, and I love the way the name changes on the shirt every time. It's what makes the comic acceptable. So let me know what you think, and I'll be back next week with another comic book review that'll probably be a lot worse than this one. Till next time, blog over.